This week, I'm answering all the questions I received about my new Todoist setup. Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. My name is Pullein, and in this week's episode I'm answering all the questions that I got asked last week. Now, the main question I got asked last week was, how do I manage my projects now? Now, before I get into that, one of the criticisms I've received this week, and quite justifiably, is that I have been teaching everybody to do a particular system and now I've completely changed it. Well, actually, that's not strictly speaking true. What I have taught over the last 3 years is the C.O.D system and the 2+8 prioritization system. Now, the C.O.D system is all about collecting, organizing and doing. And if you've taken the C.O.D course, and it's a free course, so there's no cost to you, the free C.O.D course, I stress the importance of minimizing the organization part, because it's when you're organizing you are not doing. And what I wanted people to truly understand is that you need to really reduce the time you spend organizing and spend more time doing. It's when you're doing, that's when you're completing your tasks, and that's actually when you're moving your goals and your projects forward. That has not changed one bit. The bit that's changed is how I organize my tasks, and that's it. And I've always stressed that the part about how you organize your tasks, is really up to you, because it has to work for you. It has to work whether you're a visual person, it has to work whether you're a linear person. It really does have to work for you. Now, for me, I like to see my tasks organized by date. I like to see my tasks that I've decided I'm going to do this week, and then I can forget about any task that's due next week, the next month, or whenever. All I want my focus is to be on the tasks that I've decided are important this week. So that's all that's changed. I do the 2+8 prioritization system every single day. That hasn't changed, and I've always used the flags and dates in Todoist in order to see that. That has not changed one bit. The fact that I no longer use labels and I no longer use projects does not change that fact. So my whole productivity system has not changed. The only thing that's changed is my organization structure, and that is something that's entirely personal to you, and I've always stressed that. Now, before we go into this week's episode and I answer the questions, the biggest question I should point out this week was, what do I do with projects instead? And that's what I'm actually going to answer mainly in this week's episode. Now, before we go any further, I would just like to say, if you do want to get the latest tips, tricks and news on Todoist, then please hit the subscribe button on this channel. If you do get any value from this episode, then please hit the like button. Okay, enough of me talking. Let me now take you into my demo account of Todoist and show you how I organize or manage my projects now. Okay, so the first question that I want to answer is, how would I do a weekly review now? Now, the thing is, the weekly review in the new system is actually very easy. What I would do is I would hit my next week account right here. I would go through this and I would just add the dates for next week. Now, this is this week, so eventually imagine that I've now moved these forward. All I have to do is say, right, these are all to do with the meeting, and I'm just going to, these two things I want to do tomorrow. So I can do shift click here, and I can just schedule those for, say, Monday, and then recharge all my camera batteries. I could sort of like say, oh, that needs to be done today, so I can just hit the calendar part here. We can go in tomorrow, let's say, but we're into next week, so I'll do that on Tuesday. Add receipts to expenses receipts. Let's say I need to do that, or I'll do that on Wednesday, and that's it. That's really how I do a week review. Now, of course, as I mentioned last week, with my, normally I would have 13 tasks that are recurring every week, so it leaves me with roughly another 12 to 15 non-routine tasks that I can actually add into next week. So it takes a little bit longer than that, but essentially that's how I do the week review. I just take these, I shift click, and you can just shift click like this. You can collect them all, move to project, I just move them to this week, and I have no section, so tap that. And now within next week, I can just go through these and add the dates that I actually want to add. Now, as you've seen here, I've got two ones here, submit expenses sheet. Now, that's probably because this is just my demo account, so we can just remove one of those. These are my recurring. Again, this is my demo account, so it's different from last week, so just want to re-emphasize that point. So that's essentially how I would do the week review, and as you can see, it's actually very quick. Now, of course, what I'm going to do is I will go into this month, I will review that, discuss with Rosa Klebb, plans for non-committed team members, and I might think, oh yes, I'm going to be seeing Rosa next week because I will be checking my calendar, so I will then add that to next week, and I would add it to the day that I'm going to be meeting with Rosa Klebb. So I'm not going to miss anything. And this is one of the strengths of this way of organizing your tasks. It's that you do not miss anything, because as long as you're reviewing each week on a week-to-week basis, you're reviewing your this week, next week, this month, and you're bringing your long term, you're just having a quick review of your long term, you are fine. So let me take you into the project view here, because this is the biggest question of all week, as I mentioned in the introduction. So this is a typical project that I would have had back in the day when I was using individual projects. And I've got discuss with partner where we'd like to go, when would be the best time to go, book holiday, hotel for holiday, book flights, check passport is okay, blah, 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 blah. So this is how I would have done it in the past. I would have created an extra and then say, I'm going to do an online course. And these are the typical steps that I would have with an online course. So with the summer holiday one in my new system, I can just drag these across. I can say, okay, I'm going to discuss with my wife our summer holiday, so I'll add that to this week. When would be the best time to go? What do I need to do that? So the thing is, I would probably have to talk to my boss or talk to the HR department. So again, I'll do that next week, or this week. I'll do that next week. And now this is when book hotel and book holiday flights. Now this could be considered long term, although let's say I want to get this summer's holiday done this month. So what I'm going to do is, this is not something I would do in two separate tasks. In the past, I would have created two separate tasks, but I would have put book hotel and flights now, because I want to see these together. I'm going to do this task together. I'm going to set aside time to do this at the same time. So I would just drag this in. Okay, I'm going to do that. Needs to be done. Well, there's a few things that need to happen first. Oops, where have I gone? There's a few things that need to happen first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that into this month. It needs to be done this month, but until these two tasks, I've discussed with my partner when are we going to go, where we're going to go. I've managed to get the times that I can go. So that can be moved off to this month. As long as I do it this month, that's all that matters. Check passport is okay. Well, we're talking about the summer holiday, so I may as well do that next month. I'll just check that in. And book holidays off from work. When would I do that? Okay, I need to do that this month. Let's get that done. And that's it. That's how I would organize a project like this, because I don't need the placeholder summer holiday for this, because I know where I am. I know when I've booked the tickets. When I've booked the flights, when I book the hotel, there's going to be a confirmation slip. Now for me, that would stay in my email. I would create a folder in my email account for summer holiday, or as I did like Europe trip or whatever, and then all my confirmations would go into that folder. So that's that one. Now another one that I can show you, which is a bit more complex, would be creating an online course. So one of the things with the online course is I would begin working on the outline. That's the first step I have with doing an online course. So begin working on outline. Let's say I want to do that this week, so I'm going to add that in. Let's say we'll start that next week. Create slides in Keynote. Well, that's not going to happen immediately, but when do I want to do this? So the only question I really have to ask is, when do I want to do this? When is going to be my deadline? So with this one, create slides in Keynote, I need to do that this month. I really want to get that done this month. I would also want to get the workbook prepared this month, so I'm going to add that into this month. I'm going to drop that into this month. Create thumbnails, things like this that I've used to do in the past. I wouldn't need to do that. I mean, I could put that into long term if I want, but I don't need a task to tell me that, because it's going to happen naturally when I'm doing the Keynote. So that's a task that I would no longer need. Record the course is what I would have had in the past. Now all I would do is schedule. See, I can't spell again. Schedule a time to record the course. That's how I would now write that course. Now what I do with this is I usually schedule 2 days. So if I wanted to, I don't need to do this because I know, but I could just put 2 days in that in brackets just at the side. So that tells me that I need to schedule 2 days for recording and edit. I generally do the edits the next day, so I'm going to put record, schedule a time to record and edit course, because I tend to do those at the same time because my mind is still fresh. I'm totally focused on that one goal, that one task. So that's how I would do that. So the next question would be is, okay, so I've moved those things in together. When am I going to do this? Well, that's simple. I want to do this next month. This course, imagine that I want to launch at the end of March. So I'm just going to say, okay, this needs to be done next month. I don't need to worry about it right now. The most important thing is begin work on the outline. That's the most important thing. Now, one quick tip, if you are going to do this kind of setup, this kind of organization structure, I need to be a little bit more clearer with my tasks. So begin working on outline for new course. That's just going to mean that it's really clear when it comes up on my daily view. Go back down to here. These tasks here, right? Review lessons and these things. Again, the trigger for these is once the course is edited. I don't need these tasks anymore because once I've edited the course, once the videos are all ready to be uploaded, I know what happens next. And I would then add that task. I'm not going to add that task now because it's just another task that there's nothing I can do about. It's like a dependent task, and I will then make a decision once the course is recorded, once the course has all been done. I always automatically review each video after their edits anyway, before I would upload it. So none of these tasks are actually relevant anymore. In the past they would have been, but I would just delete them. So now I have my plan. This week, these are all the tasks that I want to do. Now, this is something else I should point out. When I've been collecting stuff on my inbox, these things might have come up during the week. They have no date. So what I'm going to do here is I would just go in and add dates because it's this week is really important. So imagine this week is next week. For argument's sake, so I say I do that on Tuesday. Add receipts to expenses. Oh, I need to do that. So we're going to do that one we'll do that on Wednesday. Submit expenses sheets. Well, once the receipts have been done, so we'll do that on Wednesday as well. Thursday. Okay, no, we'll do that on Wednesday. So I'll drop that one back. That's done. And call Jim about next week's course. Oh, I need to do that on Monday, so I'm going to drop that over to the 17th. And discuss with partner where we would like to go, which is on holiday. You see, so as I'm reviewing, I can see that. So now that's the trigger, and I think, okay, I'm going to do that I'll do that on this Sunday, so it's done. Okay, so once I've done that, these are all out of order. All I'm going to do is hit the D key. That now brings these up in order, so when I'm doing a quick review at the end of the day, I can see what I have left. And that's essentially how I master the project. So I don't need these project folders anymore, and I'm just going to delete these, and they're done. And that's it. I am ready to go. I have my plan. I have my week's plan. It's done. It's automatic. And this is why I love this setup, this organization. And as I said in the introduction of this video, this is not about changing the way I do my productivity. I still follow C.O.D. C.O.D is all about collecting, organizing, and doing. I'm still collecting all my stuff in the inbox. All I'm doing is I am looking at ways to reduce the organizing time, because organizing time, although important, is actually wasted time. I'm not doing. Doing is the time I want to maximize. If I can reduce my organizing time, I am going to spend much more time doing, which ultimately leads me to becoming much more productive. And that's what it's all about. And really, I do want to stress that you need to develop a system that works for you and not for anyone else. This is working brilliantly for me. It's really simplified and minimized my whole organization structure. But it might not work for you. But hopefully in this episode, I've explained how to manage projects with the time boxes. It does work very, very well. You do find that you don't need as many tasks in each project. You're not micromanaging a task because you've got natural triggers of what's going to happen next. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you very much for watching this video. Now I have a question for you. Are you ready to go beyond the to-do list? Now, the reason I ask that question is because your to-do list is never going to do the work for you. Your to-do list is only ever going to show you what needs to be done. And that often can cause a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and a lot of overwhelm. What really helps you to get your work done and what really helps you to become much more productive is developing your own workflow. A workflow that you work from every single day that makes sure that you stay focused on the things that you have identified are the most important things to you. Now that could be your work, it could be your goals, it could be your family, it could be your personal life, it could be your self-development. Whatever that is entirely personal to you. But the key is to develop the workflow so that you are consistently making small steps towards achieving the things that you want to achieve every single day. And that's why I have developed my Productivity Mastermind course, creating your very own custom workflow. And I would love for you to check out the course. The course is available now, details of which are in the notes below, and I would just love to see you in this course. So please join me in the Productivity Mastermind course, developing your very own custom workflow, because this is a course that's going to take you way beyond the to-do list so that you start to really move forward on the goals and the things that you have identified are important to you. Thank you very much.